Ashmatic, how you doing, my friend?
Yes, people, I'm blessed and I'm good. How are you boys?
Yeah, man, we can't complain. What is it? 7 wins from our last 8 games. Should be 8 from our last 8 games. Let's be real. But today, Fraser Forster in goal, Ben Davis and Dragoshin, who, by the way, after Coventry, they said these two guys can't play in a back two in an Ange system. They're going to get eaten up alive. Well, we kept a clean sheet today.
We did indeed, man. Let's start with the positives because I think there were some positives. Bobby's already touched on it, so I don't want to go too far into it. And when you're swapping one team for another that don't regularly play with each other, and they've got a few youngsters that need to blood in together, you're kind of thinking, what type of performance are we going to get from this team? And we got the job done at the end of the day. We got the job done. It might have not looked pretty on the eye, um, and we had to get a penalty. So and it's not like we created like a ton of chances at home in front of our home crowd, but nonetheless, I think it did very well for those players that were trying to push into the first team, give them experience as well. Players like Archie Gray, players like Bergval, just giving them more confidence. It might not have been a scintillating performance from the two guys, because I just personally think Archie Gray at the right back, he had a lot to deal with defensively against the young Black Don. So I just thought, wow, you know what? It is what it is. You know what I mean? He got cooked a couple of times, lads. I'll be real. I can't even hide. He got served. He got served. I'll be real. But
Ash,
yeah,
talk to me about Mikey Moore, though, bro. Mikey Moore on that left-hand side in the second half. I
Mikey.
mean, Madison said he thought he was playing with Neymar for a second.
Well, we could go ban for ban, or we could go M for M. Mikey Moore, listen, it's crazy. His close control. That's the reason why they're comparing him to like. Well, he was joking obviously about Neymar, but that's the reason why that joke came about, because I think his ability on the ball. Some players they push past the player when they're dribbling, if that
Like
makes sense.
Brennan.
Yeah, and then they dribble and then they run onto the ball. Whereas Mikey keeps it close to him, and so it's unpredictable. You don't know which way, if he's going to go left or if he's going to go right, and that's what makes him dangerous. He can do a pirouette, go inside, and then you might want to link play or not. Actually, I can do it all by myself, because there's one point which is going around at X at the moment. He goes past like 3 or 4 men. Do you know what I'm saying? Then he obviously hits it across the box into Johnson, and then obviously that shot's blocked. But yeah, what a performance it was from him, and it's so exciting. The whole stadium, he's one of our own. He's one. Imagine him hearing that. He must have been overly gassed for that.
If he
So
was like a £50 million signing playing like he did tonight, we would be like, we just like, what money well spent. He's probably
Yeah.
doubled his price.
Yeah,
up
yeah,
there.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
a youth product who's 17. Like, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? And how good is it that who were able? I mean, also, what does it say about these young players? They were able to start 3 teenagers tonight in a team which had 9 changes, and was still able to put a performance to get over the line. Does that not just go to show the quality we have? Because we're playing, in Europe, these are tough teams, these are good teams in their own right, in their own league, and we're playing teenagers from the start, and we're getting over the line.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I wanted to start off with the positive, that we did make the 9 changes, and we did blood the youngsters in. But at the same time, I don't think the performance was flawless from the youngsters. Like Bergval, I had high hopes for. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like he looked technical, and at one point there was an argument. Let's be real. Let's be real. Where we'll say Bergval should be able to take Madison's shirt. Now we're saying, look, I don't know if that's the same kind of energy we've got now. I think there's levels to this, and I think there's a bit of a drop off between Madison and Bergval, and rightly so, because he's gonna have to learn that craft. He's gonna have to get. I think it's his decision making on the ball sometimes that lets him down for me. And I think that's the reason why we looked a bit flat in the midfield. Other than Madison, he was the one that had the goal. He was the one that was the creative spark. He was the one that was trying to make things happen. When it was Bergval, for me, he was a little bit too safe. I wouldn't mind, as a young guy, he's trying things and losing the ball by trying things, if that makes sense. So like he's trying to pass through the eye through the needle, or he's trying to carry the ball into dangerous areas but losing it. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind that, but I just felt like it was quite safe Do you know what I mean? And he lost the ball a few times just through, like I said.
But on the flip side, Ash, first of all, that weren't a chance in the first half. He played a beautiful outside of the ball, outside of the boot pass from the halfway line. He also won the penalty as well with the late run into the box and got fouled. So this is an 18-year-old kid. If he's still impacting the game in those kind of ways, that's still a positive thing, isn't it?
No. Like I said, I'll start with the positive, but then I said, look, come on, we all said it. Like, you might take the shot off Manners, and I just said, look, he's just not that level yet. Do you know what I mean?
He's an 18-year-old kid, Ash, isn't he? And
I
felt like before.
Reverse it now, like, no, we're not doing that. We can't reverse it. He's 18.
I never said he should be above Madison.
No. There was people. Okay, not you. All right, but there were people in the fan base that were saying, like, and people weren't combating it. People weren't saying, no, it's not true. You can't say that. There were people saying Madison might have to get dropped for Bergvall. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what it is, Ash? I think, like, before he got taken off after the 7th minute with that Dragoshin red card, I felt like he was doing the things that you were saying. And then after that red card, I feel like he's playing within himself a bit more since then. But I think he responded today in a different way.
I hear it. I don't know. I don't know if it's my expectation of him, because I know what he can do. And, like, since he's been playing, like, in the friendlies, for me, he was doing everything that I've been speaking about. But now it's coming to the actual games, I'm not seeing the same risk. Am I making sense? I'm not seeing the same boldness. And when you're in that midfield, you need a bit of guile. We've already got an engine in Sarr. Like, and I'm talking about different profiles. Sarr fits that box to box. Do you understand? But then we need another creative player if Madison, like, for whatever reason, drops off, or just to push him. And I thought when he was in the side, I was like, right, Madison's actually playing better now because Bergvall's breathing down his neck. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was for me. I was like, right, finally we've got competition. But I'm looking at it now, and I still got high hopes for Bergvall. I'm not saying like we have to be allowed to critique, lads. Like I don't want to be like people say, what's he said about Bergvall, blah blah blah. I'm a fan of Bergvall, people. I'm a fan. I am, but I'm
going to send this clip to Sweden. They're going to be on your case.
Do that. We'll come to Sweden. I'll come back. Everyone in Sweden. We'll have some Swedish lasagna. It's all right, man. We'll link up. But I'm just being honest from what the expectation I had for him. But Kulu, on the other hand, when Kulu came on, you just saw the difference. What are we doing here, lads? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? First time pass. Boom. Ball goes into feet. He can hold it up. Carries the ball up the pitch. This is what I'm talking about. There's levels to this, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Bergvall's 18. What do we, it's not like. I think for an 18-year-old, he's been pretty good. Do we
want to win Europa? Yes or no? Do we want to win Europa? This is what I'm saying. So
yeah, 3 wins out of 3, bro.
All I'm saying is, I want Bergvall. I want to see the Bergvall from preseason. That's all. Like, I don't know.
It's coming, Ash. It's coming. It's coming.
Because I don't want to see like the bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
You're
making me feel like the bad guy right now.
You are the bad guy.
The Jedi Hood. Like, all right. Look. Let me calm it down.
You're going to get rushed on the street. That guy said Bergvall.
Archie Gray, another one. For me, defensively, I wasn't too happy. But again, some people might say he's not a right back. On the ball, again, when he did invert into that midfield, because that's what Ange wants you to do, I don't know. Like, for me, I just need to see a little bit more. I do want to see him in midfield, but I'm starting to question Ange. Is it Ange or is it Archie? I don't know, because he should be given a chance in that midfield slot. Do you know what I mean? But is he better than a Bentancur? Is he better than a Bassoon?
But actually, last season, he played most of his minutes at right back. So it's not like it's a position.
Are we saying he's a right back?
No, I'm not. He's 18, so midfield is a very physical position, isn't it? It's a position you need to have proper physicality and discipline. So I guess we're developing him until he's ready to play that role. And obviously we got Bentancur and Basuma there, so we know it's a role he can play to a good standard last season. And then then later on he'll come a midfielder.
But do you think like we could have loaned him out to develop him as a midfielder? Or do you think that is the right decision to keep him as a backup right back or backup left back?
I'm fine with him. I think he's been all right. I mean, Poku gave him some trouble, but let's be honest, how many chances did they actually create down that side? As much as he gave him trouble.
If I'm going to be real, I'm looking at Spence, and I'm thinking Spence, for me, is better on the right as a right back than him, and he's better than a left back as him. That's just me. I don't know. Every Spurs fan is entitled to their opinion. and you could call me out if you want. But I think, and Spence got left out Europa. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that was the plan to give Archie the minutes, and that's what they wanted to do. And I say fair enough. But just me, from what I'm seeing, and I could be wrong, guys. I put my hands up. I could be wrong, but I just think the expectation, maybe it's my expectation, my bad, innit? I just had a different level.
You're bad, bro.
I put up my bad, innit? My bad. I just thought 40 mil, maybe because of the whole Brentford situation, we had to.
He just wants 3 Amals in the team. That's it. If we're not
Listen,
getting 3 Amals,
you got to give these players time, Ash. This is the highest level that these guys have ever played at.
Broski. We're not gonna do that. I'm just saying. If I'm gonna critique, are we allowed to critique? Are we allowed?
We're allowed.
I'm just talking about this performance. I'm just saying, right, and this performance here, and this game.
Why do you hate Graham Bergvall?
Didn't even get
don't hate them.
Where was Moore's goal? He's so good.
No, I just wanted to start positive, and then I thought, right, am I allowed to critique? Am I allowed to say what I didn't thought wasn't like all that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Me.
I mean,
like,
if your harshest critique is these players are not totally ready at 18, it's not like
cool.
the
Can I
most
talk about
harsh.
Richarlison there? Can I talk about Richarlison?
Talk about
You
it.
dare mention Richarlison.
Can I talk about Richarlison?
Yeah, go on.
Like, Richarlison, for me, it epitomizes like quality versus hard work, because you can praise hard work, don't get me wrong, but everyone can work hard. Do you understand? No, I feel like, I don't know, like when he's on the ball,
I agree with you. I don't think Rishi had a great game tonight, particularly.
yeah, that's what it is. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, like I'm a Spurs fan. Do you know what I mean? I'm behind the boys, and I get the idea. Everyone in the Spurs shirt, you need to back them regardless. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I just want a bit more for my team, because I don't know. I'm not saying I know what it takes, but I know there'll be tougher tests, if that makes sense. So I think when Solanke's in our team, the reason why we're attacking so well, I think, is a lot to do with him.
He's the glue, isn't it? He's the glue in that attack.
I'm saying, bro, now we're on the same page. That's what it is. Like when you see quality and then you see the quality dip a little bit, you're like, okay, cool. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, all right, cool. If you're not good at hanging on to the ball, and you can't, dribble, because like some strikers can't dribble, but in the box, you just want them to be a killer. Do you know what I mean? You want them to be ruthless in the box. Richarlison's movement.
That is like, I don't think Richarlison is.
Yeah. No, you know what it is with Richarlison? I like his energy. I like the things off the camera. I like him as a person. I like how he supports the club and he sends in messages and all of that. But I'm just being, just for me, I'm not saying for you guys, I'm not saying for other Spurs fans. I'm just saying for me, I wouldn't be mad if, like, we moved on from Richarlison, if I'm being totally honest.
Ash, what about you taking 35 million, 40 million for Richarlison and bringing in Jonathan David on a free?
Jonathan David.
As a backup.
I'm not sure. I'm not totally convinced on David. I'll be real. But you know what? He's young. Yeah, I've got my question marks. That's all I want to say about Jonathan David. I've got my question marks.
We got Will Lancashire sitting there as well, by the way. And
also
Diamond Dane is banging them in at the moment.
When Lancashire was like, this again, pre-season, I want to see what you can do in the real game, in the real thing. But like Lancashire's finishing, for me, I was like, wow, composure in front of goal, dinks, different type of finishes.
Harry Kane.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I can get excited about that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to go for low-hanging fruit and talk about Timo Werner, but like,
I'm going to do it anyway.
As a professional footballer, you've got semi-pros, you've got the Ryman's League, you've got League 3, League 2, League 1, and then you've got Championship, and then you've got Premiership. Premiership, you've got the top 10 teams, you've got bottom 10 teams, yeah? And then out of that, you've got a top 6. Now, a lot of Spurs fans think we're top 4. Now, do you think Werner, I know he's not our first choice, guys. I know he's meant to be second choice, or not even second choice, third choice. But the fact that he's getting into the team and he's starting affects our ability to attack and be ruthless in that final third, in my opinion. And so for me, all it is as a Spurs fan, I don't know, I could be wrong, But just me as a fan, my expectation, I just want more, and I want better. I want what's best for the club.
We all want more. That's
We all want more.
We want more.
Mikey Moore.
Yeah, exactly. I just want quality in that final third. So when people say he's the second, but he's third choice, do you know what I mean? He's still getting minutes, and he's taken away from players like Mikey Moore, who we want to see more. Or supposing Werner's still in the past January, supposing he's still here past January now, and we get the Korean kid come in. Now, all of a sudden, the Korean kid doesn't get any minutes, or he gets 5 minutes here, but he doesn't get that many minutes because Werner's...
Wait. There's first of all, there's rumours that he might be leaving in January at the moment, Timo.
All right, cool.
But as well, is Ange not acknowledging the problems you're saying, because he took him off at half time today. He said it after the game today. His guy clearly low on confidence, but at the end of the day, we need players in that position to make an impact in the final third. Isn't that him kind of saying, as much as I feel for him with his low confidence, I need players confident in that position. If he's not going to be that, he's going to be hooked.
This is the type of manager I want. Ruthless. I want someone at that, he's got the needle. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if we are to succeed, and people want cups, 24 years, 25 years going on, and we want to get a cup, we need to have that level of, cutthroat, and we need the quality, not just in the final third. Because for me, in that first half, we did look flat. We did lack tempo. We did look void of ideas. We did look and I like that we have some of these problems right now, because at least the manager can address it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it to say, Spurs are not good enough, or, I like to see things we can improve on, things we can work on, and things in January we can fix. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather this happen now, 8, 9 games, 10 games into the season, and the manager looks at it and says, actually, you know what? This guy stepped up, this guy hasn't. Because that's what it is. When you're working in the top level in any profession, especially when it comes to elite sport, you need to be at that level. That's all I'm saying. That's all it is. And that's why I was critiquing all the players that everyone loves. And I just thought in this particular game, I noticed that the centre-backs on the ball weren't as good as our main centre-backs. Defending, not too bad, but on the ball, I just thought we lacked that kind of progressive pass, or that progressive carry, or that decision-making on the ball. But that's just me, guys. I
asked Sim the question. I don't know if it was off camera or on camera, but is Dragoshin that guy? Because I feel like the signings that we've made, maybe even Werner, profile-wise, have all fitted the system really well, in terms of what Ange wants to do. But then you got Radu Dragusin, right? Is he, profile-wise, is he the centre-back that we want right here?
Dragushin's a funny one. I think where we picked him up for, he was used to playing in a defensive low block, and now he's having to learn how to play in a high line attacking team where he's a part of the two. Do you know what I mean? And the responsibilities that he's got on the ball, he's gonna have to pick up really quickly. I know he was he in the back three as well, not in the back two?
I think he was a back three for Genoa, but also you take into account his performances for Romania, another low block team, aren't they? Other teams like to sit back.
Box defender, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know.
And he was great for Romania, but that's because he does a lot of box defending, isn't it?
That's correct. So that's why you saw him shine in the Euros, and then he's come here, and we defend higher up, don't we? Do you know what I mean? And it's about.
But I actually think he did a bit better in the sense today, not on the ball, but in a sense when how Romero, he's very proactive in his defending. He searches opportunities to win the ball, and when we're pressing and they're putting the ball long, Romero's always getting to that ball first. I think he was doing a lot better with that kind of stuff today.
Yeah, because I think the dynamic between Romero and Van der Ven, one kind of sits, one sweeps, and one is, as you said, more proactive, goes in, tries to go into the midfield and win the ball high up, intercept the play. And I just don't think, profile-wise, that he is that type of player that kind of wins that ball high up. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Do you know what I mean?
I'm saying today, I think he was doing that a bit more today, winning the ball a bit higher.
Do you see? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, defensively, like I said, I wasn't mad at him. Do you know what I mean? But it was just on the ball. I just feel like he needs to make his mind up a bit quicker. And that's where he was getting caught out, a bit caught on the ball. And then, we get caught. Sometimes we were inviting pressure unnecessarily because We weren't thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. We didn't know what we wanted to do with the ball before we had the ball. And effectively, at one point, I'm like, why are we so sloppy on the ball? Why are we inviting AZ on? Because I felt they were poor, and I thought that we could have taken them to the cleaners if we had a bit more quality starting from the back. Because I think when you play quickly and build up, that's when we look like we're doing a fast transition, because we've bypassed their midfield really fast. Does that make sense? So
I think it's a combination of not great quality passing from centre backs, and also you don't have a guy up front who could really hang on to the ball like Solanke could. So it leads to a bit more disjointedness.
This is it. And I think when you defend, you have to defend as a unit, and I think that was slightly off. I think not having Porro as the right back that we normally have, I think he helps a lot with our progression and creativity in terms of like stretching the play, switching the play, balls over the top, adding something a little bit different, even holding on to the ball. I think you can trust Porro, and he helps us. Like, there's loads of players that we're missing that when you give them the ball, it sticks to them. And so that's the reason why I said when Kulu came on, it stuck to him. You can completely see the difference. There was one bit when Solanke was in the corner, linked up with Kulu. I was like, oh! And that's what I get excited about. What? You know what I'm trying to say? But when I was watching these, man, I was getting frustrated. I was like, bro, pass it, move it forward. Why are you taking? Certain times they're on the ball, they're just standing on it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's mad. But look,
I also feel with Dragoshin as well, like his passing technique, you know, when he passes it to people, sometimes it's bobbling or sometimes it's not perfect. It's like just a bit.
And now you're having to take an extra touch.
Exactly.
And then now the team behind you is getting set. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So then you're like, rah, I got to pass it backwards now. Do you know what I mean? And there was certain attacking pattern plays. I know that's why I've got to be fair. Like, these players don't normally play with each other, but there were certain patterns of play when they've got like 2 backs of 4 or 2 backs of 5, whatever you want to call it. They've got their 2 defensive lines. We look like we were void of ideas how to break that down, especially in the first half. Second half, we started off well, high energy. Mikey Moore was on it for 10, 15 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone got up. The stadium started making noise, energy. And then it felt flat again. Do you know what I mean? It was like, now what? Do you know what I mean? So, but like I said, we got the job done, and there was lessons learned, and I'm all for it, bro. I'm all about learning and what we can do as a team to move forward and improve. Do you know what I mean? Because we will get game.
Man of the match tonight, Ash?
Maddison for me, I would say Maddison. I felt like I like players that are proactive, trying to make things happen. He was one that will get on it, try to drop a shoulder, go past someone, try to pass the ball through the lines or through the eye of the needle. He was like always trying to make something happen, always thinking forward. What can I do to, get into the forward line? How can I affect this team? How can I hurt them? Do you know what I mean? And so for me, and even the leadership, he had the maturity on the pitch of that penalty. He said, you know what? Because he wanted to take it. He said, you know what? I'm better than this. Richie, confidence. Here you go. You've been injured out for a long time. You take it. Do you know what I mean? Richie scored. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy he got his goal, got to do his little pigeon celebration. Do you know what I mean? And fair is fair. But Maddison for me was man of the match.
Ash, big up to you, man. Spurs Kings TV, Spurs Kings TV. Let everyone go and subscribe to Spurs Kings TV. It's so good. The analysis on there is so good that we had to nab him for a tactics show once a week.
Back for Palace, guys. Back for Palace.
Come on.
Awesome, man. We'll speak to you soon, Ash. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Love, man. Love support.